good mic. Well, I need y'all to stand up for me real quick. Everybody been doing like little call and response stuff. Just stand up for me real quick. And y'all had the itis or anything like that? Normally they bring me in after itis. So we're just gonna stretch up in the air. I love it, and then you're gonna high five your neighbor. I love it. And at this moment, we're gonna say, I am the brand.
I am the brand.
Now you're gonna turn to that neighbor and say, I am the brand.
I am the brand.
Now you're gonna turn to the other neighbor that you neglected and say, I am the brand. Y'all ever been in church, you don't know which neighbor to talk to you? Like, leave me out. Oh, y'all can have a seat. At the top of your notes, for those who are taking notes, actually, you definitely want to take notes on this one. I need you to put at the top, I am the brand. I am the brand. Anybody get into a new relationship and you like to hear about the other person's ex? Anybody show hands? You do like to hear about the ex? Oh, she said, yeah, okay. You do? Normally I get a no. And the main reason I say that, this is almost like a new relationship. So if you don't know me, I usually don't talk about my resume. I'm here to add value, and if I don't add any value, all right, cool. Just a black dude with a Spanish name. But I'm not going to talk about how I used to rub her feet, or how I used to do this for such and such, or how I used to do the candles by the tub with the bubbles in it. Y'all know them things I'm talking about. I ain't going to talk about that.
Put the light skin eyes on it.
So my whole thing is, again, in regards to adding value to you at this moment. Shout out to my dogs. I was like, yo, after here I got to hit to Stone Mountain. I go to Stone Mountain a lot. And the beauty of Stone Mountain is that I would do it 2, maybe 3 times a week, right? And when I would do it, I have this app called Relive, and it's like this 3D rendering that'll show me when I go up the mountain. I would use another app called Runkeeper, and it would show me my timing. And at the time, I would wear the right sermons, listen to sermons, listen to audio books, pray, and, time myself. And every day I was like, okay, you know what? Am I going to beat my time that I did yesterday? Or am I going to beat my time that I did before? Am I going to listen to more audio books? I was basically doing this thing for me. Well, for those who have known, a couple times I do it so much, I do this thing called Mountain Talk. So one day I'm up there, similar to a day just like today, because I'm leaving and going there when I leave here. It's about 98 degrees out there. I normally start off with a black hoodie, have my black on, it is hot. I'm burning up, I got my water. Heading up the mountain. For those who know, around the halfway mark, they have this little, this railing, and I normally try to run up the railing. About to burn out. My asthma start to kick in. And I sit on the rock. And as I sat on the rock, I see these gentlemen walking up the mountain, and they had firefighter uniforms on. Y'all think I'm playing? Hold on, let me show y'all real quick. I even asked them, I said, hey, I want to record y'all. See, LaShana said I couldn't do any slides. So I'm showing y'all, they literally have firefighter uniforms, 98 degrees in the shade,
Good track.
going up the mountain.
Work.
Going up. Like literally, I mean, it's a whole squad up. And I'm like, bro, y'all crazy, for real. I'm still sitting down. I'm like, I can't do it. 98 degrees drinking my water, and I'm seeing them going up. They got their full air tank on, their helmet. I know they got their regular clothes, because I know they ain't butt naked under the thing. So they got their regular clothes, they got their boots on, they got their gloves, and they're going up this mountain, 98 degrees in the shade. And it made me think, why are they doing it? They're not doing it truly for them. They're doing it to save your life. They're doing it if they have to run into a burning building and save somebody's life. They're doing it because, and I saw it, cameraman, I tend to move a little bit. They're doing it because, you know what? They have to save somebody else. So I'm going to ask you, you can write this down if you want. What burdens are you carrying that ain't yours to begin with? Maybe it's a family burden. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's that mother, that father that I was talking about earlier that you have not let go of, or you haven't forgiven. I always say forgiveness is the best revenge. What is that burden that you're carrying that's not even yours? Just like that firefighter that has that air tank. Yes, the air tank is to save his life or to keep him from inhaling the smoke, but at the same time it's to save somebody else's life. And just like that firefighter, that weight that he has on his back or she has on his back or on her back, I want you to think about, what is that weight costing you? What is that burden costing you? Is it costing you new relationships? Is it costing you financial? Is it costing you your spiritual walk, your fitness walk, your health journey? What is that thing costing you? And the last one I want to ask you is, the weight that you are carrying, is it stopping you from getting to that destination? We did a lot of visualizations. We did a lot of thought processes, and we're getting to a destination, but is that weight that we're carrying preventing us from getting there? I'm Jose Black Dude with a Spanish name. We about to get into it again. Somebody tell me I am the brand.
I am the brand.
One of the things I always talk about in regards to creating a brand or understanding a brand is, first off, if you understand who you are, then you are able to give it to the people. If you don't understand, the people will not understand, and we talk about brand confusion. There was a lot of times when I worked my 9 to 5, shout out to my 9 to 5 people. I used to work at Verizon Wireless, and when I worked at Verizon Wireless, I would see people who would get in car accidents, or I would see people who would get, they would get literally upset to the point if they were running late for work. Or if they had a bad morning, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or they said this, that, and the third happened, or they had a bad customer interaction and say, I got to take a smoke break. They were putting all their energy into this job, but not into their brand. There's some people who say, you know what, I need to put more energy into my relationship. When we say I am the brand, we're talking about that internal thing. We talk about when you look in the mirror, that's who I am. My goal is to take the thing we show to the world, the thing we show to the people, and then what we show to our family and friends, and get it as close as possible. So when you're on a stage, you're on a Zoom, you're at a networking event, you're at home, you're at a barbecue, you're at church, you're at a ballroom, you are the same person. When we talk about a brand, it's 4 things. Who are you? Let's write that down. 4 things. This is the pinnacle. This is what I do when I work with my clients. What do you do? Who do you serve? And how are you different? Again, who are you? And a lot of times when I get that question, it's funny, did this conversation about 4 hours of conversation about this yesterday with multiple different people. And the first that they say is, well, I'm such and such and I do. No. Who are you is not what you do, because that's the second question, first off. But who are you is your characteristics, your DNA. I want to dive into that. It's something I call the SPLASH formula. It's an acronym that we literally dive into who we are. But we're going to go into the second one. What do we do? Maybe you're in real estate. Maybe you're in fitness. Maybe you are a speaker. Maybe you're in home care. Maybe you do federal government contracting. Maybe you do fix and flip. Maybe you do 203K loans. Maybe you're nursing. What do you do? Then we go into the who do you serve? Now, I get this one a whole lot in regards to the who do you serve. And they say, well, I have African American women 35. That's just what somebody told me this yesterday. 35 on up. I said, oh. 35 on up, so you help the 80-year-old, so the 35 and the 80-year-old going through the same problems and stuff, right? She was like, no, I was like, okay. So when we want to look at who do we serve, we truly want to understand the pain. See, I get headaches. I get stomach aches sometimes. As a matter of fact, y'all seen that Pepto-Bismol commercial? If you have heartburn, nausea, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. That joke don't say nothing about a 43-year-old African-American dude who got a stripe down the middle of his head, who lived in Maryland, now live in ATL. It don't say none of that. I take my Excedrin for that migraine. On the back, it don't say for 65-year-old Karens. It don't say nothing about that. We're talking about pain. So, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm all over the place because, as you said, no slides. So I like this. I like to be able to move the way I want to move. When I worked at Verizon, again, we used to have these meetings. Right? In these meetings, I would take different context from my guy Eric Thomas, and I will flip it. This is before even working with Eric Thomas. I will flip it, and they would call this 5 minutes with a legend. Now, in this time, though, I had 35 employees. We had 5 other managers, including myself. And right next door, shout out to my people from the DMV. It was a place called Waldorf, Maryland.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right off of Crane Highway, there was a Dunkin' Donuts right next to my Verizon. And when I went to this Dunkin' Donuts, every morning meeting, I would get a dozen donuts. Well, really, I would get 2 dozen, but it was really 1 dozen I would duplicate them. Now, what's your favorite donut? They say black people only like glazed, but I'm a blueberry head myself. Favorite donut? Powder? Wait, you said powder with bacon? Okay. Maple bacon. Okay, bet. What you got?
I don't like donuts.
You don't like donuts? Ooh!
Who said that?
We're gonna get her out. I ain't never heard that one say, no, I like that. I like that. So I would get the glazed, I would get the blueberry, I would get the ones with the jelly filling, I would get the one with the cream filling, the chocolate filling, some of the vanilla, the sprinkles, the cupcake ones, all the different flavors. But I would never duplicate them. Again, I want you to rock with me. I will never duplicate them. And then about 8 to 12 of my employees out of 35 will come to me and say, Jose, we don't want nobody else to buy donuts, only you. We don't want Mike, we don't want Russ, we don't want Johnny, we don't want Aisharel. We want you to buy the donuts. And I was like, hey, that's crazy. Because when I started to think about it, this was a little bit later, when I started to think about it, I was like, well, we got 5, maybe 8, maybe 12 people who saying I get the best donuts, but each one of them, if I was to break it down, they're eating 1, maybe 2. If they were glutton, they were doing 3. If they were homeless, they were eating 4 donuts. Again, I'm gonna let that simmer in your spirit real quick. We're going somewhere. Again, 1 individual person, they would eat 1 donut, maybe 2. If they were glutton, they were doing 3. If they were homeless, they were doing 4. And so I was like, oh, I'm buying the best donuts? And so as I got closer into this branded space, I was like, ooh. Holy Spirit talked to me. He was like, you got to understand those donuts are just like specific pain points. You got to understand when you showing up, I'm only showing up with my 12 donuts, but I'm really only speaking to 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 specific pain points while I'm on the stage, while I'm on the Zoom, while I'm on my social media. Okay, let's break it down a little bit more. Anybody does follow or listen to Eric Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. Been working with the gentleman for a long time, and I started to break down this content. Truly, he got 12 years to get a 4-year degree. Lived in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash cans. Been with 1 woman his whole life. Met Dee Dee when she was 16. His mom lied to him when he was younger. His biological wasn't in his life. Like, if you notice, it's the same donuts on each video. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It resonates. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And all I got to do is show with maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. So, y'all got some homework. I need you to write down your 12 donuts. That person who you think you speak to, I want you to write down the pain. And I need you to understand, just like we talked about with the Pepto, just like we talked about specifically with the Excedrin, pain doesn't have a demographic. So I could be saying, oh, when he talked to, no. What's the pain that they're dealing with? Most people they say they desire making 6 figures. They desire to make 7 figures. They desire to have this life, this, that, and third. But most people do not move off of desires. They only move off of pain. Woo!
Wow.
They only move off of pain. Until that thing hurts enough. It's an old adage that you probably heard before. It said the dude went over to his neighbor's house and the dog was sitting out there on the porch and he said, why is your dog making all that noise? Oh, no, don't worry about him. He's cool. He's just sitting on a nail. Why he don't get up? Oh, it don't hurt enough. Again, it doesn't hurt enough. And a lot of times people are not moving because it don't hurt enough. So one of the things we do, not to go too deep because I could talk about this for 3 hours, one of the things we do or that I use is called the PASTOR formula. PASTOR, P-A-S-T-O-R. P, pain. We're basically acknowledging the pain. I got 5 minutes. Girl, you butter.
We can do 10.
I mean, we're gonna make it work. I'm
Cause
gonna give
Because
value.
I know this is a $5,000 masterclass,
Yeah.
so we can do 10.
Pain, acknowledging the pain. A is going to be agitated. Agitating the pain. If you notice, the first two is pain. Okay, before we go any further, when you go to the doctor, doc, my stomach hurt. They take that paper, lay you down, you crinkling on that, you trying to, they like, oh, we gonna come back in here, you just sitting on that paper, that little, what type of paper is that? Anybody know what's the name of it actually?
Wax paper.
Is it what? Whatever that paper, it's loud though. So you sitting on there and the doctor come in there and say, how you been feeling, They say, lay back, and they start pressing. And they press until you say, oh, that could be your spleen, that's your liver, that's your, I don't know, I'm about to name just stuff that's in your stomach or what have you. That's your ribs, your diaphragm. But again, they had to agitate the pain so they could know where it's at. Okay, let's take it another way. You like, oh, I don't get on the paper at the doctor's office. Your car messed up. You making a sound. You like, oh, let me go on TikTok or YouTube and look up this sound. You hear it. It's like, yo, that's the sound that I got. You go to the mechanic. And you say, oh, I already know what the problem is. I went on YouTube and TikTok and they told me what it was. They're like, we're still going to give you this $100 diagnostic so we can find and agitate the pain so now we can create a solution for it. Here's the thing about it. When we understand the pain, we are in a space where I'm able to talk to my clients at a high level via social media. Okay, one of the things we used to say is avatars, and I love an avatar. I have an avatar. Her name is Sharitha. She's 35 years old. She got 2.5 kids. She's now entrepreneurship for the last 6 months. She looks at everybody she see on social media, and she's like, oh, I can do it better than them. The 2.5 kids is keeping her up at night. She also doesn't live in the most affluent neighborhood. She's also dating little dudes, and these dudes are trying to get the cookies at night. That's what's keeping her up at night. She's also in the space of just growing in her spirituality, growing in school, growing as a mother. I understand who she is, but at the same time, I didn't name none of her pain. I know her intimately, and I'm going to give you a quick hint. Even though she has a different shell, Sharitha is the old me. We can go deeper into that, but that's a whole nother thing. One of the things that is her pain. She doesn't understand her education, the expertise of how to get it on paper. She's uncomfortable with going live. She doesn't know how to create content. She keeps starting over. She takes too many notes. I call it entrepreneurial hoardism. Y'all know y'all got the books all over the place. Even on my social media, I got it pinned up there. I was talking about how we used to be a hoarder. I would take the notes and I would leave them in the trunk, or I would have them in the car, or I would have them under my in my office, or I would have them on the bookshelf. I got all these notes, all the different colors, yet at the same time I wasn't doing nothing with them. This is why we're talking about homework. This is why we're talking about executing in this space. Speaking of actually in the hoarder stuff, because I know we're short on time real quick. Everybody watch Buried Alive before? Mm-hmm. All right, Buried Alive or Hoarders or what have you. And I remember seeing this one young lady. She was a little bit older. She lived with her granddaughter. She had a 2-level house, looked like it was a split level. And just like with hoarders, there was trash everywhere. They were sleeping on trash. They had little covers, and they had a dog in there. The dog was just running around doo-dooing everywhere. I was like, bro, I got the weakest stomach on earth. I need y'all to understand. But I'm still intrigued when I watch the show. And so I'm seeing them laying as far as on this trash, and they got the dog. And then what happens is her grandkids and then her kids come in the house, and they open the door. And they're like, I didn't know it was this bad. They're actually using the restroom outside. Mom, I didn't know. They're in tears. They didn't know what was going on. They're like, oh, we're happy. We're good. They're moving forward. Then they call the doctor, and the doctor comes in and say, okay, what's going on? Tell me about what's going on. Well, I was in a divorce. I was this, that, and the third. My mama this, blah, 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 blah. And the doctor said, okay, let's work it out. And then they get into an agreement. Then they start throwing away stuff. Doctor said, can we take this pillow? Can we throw it away? He's like, no, my husband gave it to me. Okay, can we take this trash? Matter of fact, this leaf that just fell off the wall, can we take this? She was like, no, this was given to me back in 37. She ain't that old, but you know what I mean. And then they come through and they overhaul the whole place. And they clean it up. They showed it before and after. It looked like a brand new house. Y'all seen that before. It's the same thing every show. Well, that's the thing about in regards to our notes that we have right there. I need you to understand, if we don't do nothing with it, it's just trash. Here's the thing about it, the notes from today, that's the trash that you got right on top. You just throw it out there, just like when they were eating dinner. They would eat dinner, and they would just throw it right on top. Okay, what about the trash? The oldest trash. That's in the soil. That's in the foundation. But somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle is that $1 million idea. Somewhere in that middle is that $1 million brand. Somewhere in that middle. And what happens just like in Hoarders, they have a coach or they have a doctor to come in. You need a coach, accountability, somebody who's going to say, hey, you know what? That idea is not for you, for somebody else. Oh, that idea, we need to throw that away. Those notes, And we're going to go down and we're going to pick one and we're going to execute on it. Y'all with me? Yeah, everybody got their homework? Who don't understand their homework, though?
I need a consultation.
Put your code up.
I know, right? I ain't even got no slides. Just speakwithjose.com. You want to talk, we can rap. Speakwithjose.com. But in regards to the homework, the 12 donuts, for those who are literally in the space, y'all, I want to go above and beyond. I want you to put what happens if each one of those pains is not eliminated. In other words, what's the consequence? What's the consequence? Can I get the I am the brand?
I am the
I
brand.
love it. Y'all been good. I'm Jose Black, dude with the Spanish name. I appreciate y'all.